Hi, my name is Eva Jahan. I'm a junior in the CALS school and I'm a DSOC major.
Hi, I'm Katie Donnelly Moran. I'm a sophomore and I'm an International Agriculture and World Development major and I'm a sophomore.
So our project is Views on Police Brutality, Who Finds Police Aggression Acceptable. We decided it was important to conduct this study because of the recent rise in the Black Lives Matter movement. And it wasn't any specific variable on police brutality in GSS, so our study is based off of the question, are there any situations you can imagine in which you would approve of a policeman striking an adult male citizen? And we looked at our main variable, or independent variable that we looked at was race, but we also studied how income, sex, and years of education impacted people's views on police brutality.
Yeah, so with the GSS data that we used, 75% of respondents were white, 15% were black, and 9% were of another race. And then in terms of their responses to if they would ever approve of police aggression, 68% of respondents said yes, and 32% said no. But when we break those responses up in terms of race, we see there's a significant difference with a chi-square test between races. So we have 75% of white respondents said yes to the question, that they would approve of police brutality in some instances, whereas around 45% of black and other respondents said yes, and over 50% said no. So then we used a logistic regression to further look at that and use the other variables as well. We saw that black and other race people were over 3 times as likely to say no, and so that means white people are far more likely to answer yes and approve of police brutality. And then we found, looking at gender, that men are more likely to say no, so women are more likely to not approve of police brutality. Then looking at income, we found that people of higher income are more likely to approve of police brutality in some situations. And then looking at years of education, we found that people who have earned higher degrees are more likely to approve of police brutality, and these findings were significant. So from those regressions, we can conclude that people's views on police brutality are different based on these independent variables.
Yeah, and so we were a little surprised with the findings that we found with the years of education, because we weren't sure about why people with higher degrees would, approve of police brutality more. But we reckon it's because people with higher degrees probably run into the police a little less, and so there may be circumstances in which they view that a police striking an adult male citizen is okay.
Whereas we were less surprised with our finding about race, because police officers do interact with people of other races in different ways, and so we see that people's views on police aggression kind of reflect that. And yeah, we also, in our conceptual model, include skin color, but the GSS, General Social Survey, does not have a skin color variable, but we just wanted to acknowledge that people of darker skin are more likely to have negative run-ins with the police.
And that's because race is not mutually exclusive with skin color. People of different races can vary from very light skin to dark skin, but we think this is definitely a very interesting variable to study in the future.